Give me food, clothes, water, and shelter. Nothing else, no matter. You're my moon and cry.
To make sure you understand, Charlton is on a bearing of 120th of Brandon. Due north means forgetting these things. It is north clock 14. That is a 3-figure bearing of Alyssa from Charlton at there. Now, step there, which means then also calculate this one to be 55 degrees, and then they are alternating minus the 55 degrees and bearing. That's what we have then there. This is a right angle triangle. We first always look at Pythagoras here. So it will then be 630 squared, 325 squared. And the answer is, remember, we use extra brackets. The answer is 539.7. And then we round off to 3 significant figures, which makes it then 540 there. So this was now bearings, but it was also with trigonometry expression there. So I must use the cosine rule. Squared plus y plus 2 squared minus in brackets 2 times y plus 2 is cosine 120 degrees. Cosine 120 degrees. And calculated to get the value there, and you will see that this is then at -1/2, because that will make it much easier. I'm going to work here. This is y squared plus, remember, this means y plus 2 times y plus 2. Grade 11s, it's very important that you will first do the worksheet on your own and mark it. Otherwise, it doesn't help. It is then y squared plus 4y plus 4 minus, okay, now I'm working in then there. Now, what I'm going to do is cancel out each other. So then this will now cancel out then there. So we 1, because that's what they say, and simplify. So this is 2. Yeah, actually we should remove this negative also there, because we multiplied the negative with the negative there. So then we have 3y squared plus 4y plus 6y, 4y plus 2y, and then plus 4. That's then the simplified expression. Now here at B, they tell you ABE. So now I'm going to square that 7, which makes it 49. 49 is equal to 3y squared plus 6y plus 4. If I bring it over now, it is -3y squared minus 6y is 45, which is equal to 0. Now plus 45. And then if I divide everything by 3, show that you do that, divide by -3, then I come to y squared plus 2y 15. Okay, now C1. Now they say we have to factor squared plus 2y minus 15. Factorize means brackets, brackets. So y and y, 3 and 5. Signs differ. The biggest combination is positive. One is negative. And then we have to solve it here at 2. So we're going to equate it to 0 then there, which means y is equal to 3 or y is equal to -5. Y is equal to 3 or y is equal to -5. And which one do we choose now? Obviously, this one is going to be invalid. So we write that invalid. and you choose the 3. So, and then the other plus 2, which is then 5 meters. So 3 meters and 5 meters. Right, question 3. Please do this exercise first. In the diagram, we have these buildings in there, and it makes an angle of 8 degrees here. So they say if DC is 31, CF 20, angle ACF 2 degrees, this is what we have here. This is not a right angle triangle. That's what we realized in the first place. It's not a right angle triangle. And we have to calculate DF. So to find DF, is your third side of not a right angle triangle. So I'm going to use, so I can say that to show that question, so I need to, so this is then giving me 1 is then the square root of this 4.5, which is what they have. Depression that we have there, give your answer correct to 1 decimal to get theta. So you first have to find, this one is opposite 20 meters. So angle D is then equal to, you cross 5 degrees. But now 5. And my answer, my final answer then, this is just a right angle triangle. Calculate the height. 29 is equal to, and it is 21.8 of depression. This one is, I hope you are ready for the test then tomorrow. Done this before. So we're going to do, we actually said you draw them 3 by 3. So the first one was 1 is less than 1 position, but it's then more than 1. Which is 1, and I use the second one. So I draw a broken line there. I draw a so this one is now -2 is sketch. You take the small line, but we need to shade. And I'm going to reverse it now just to make it the smallest one. So we're going to do it like this. So I draw my Cartesian centimeters. So here at 3, region is now your wanted region that you have there. Is your one is number 4. Can you see? It is the y-axis. That is at 0. It's another broken line. And the next one is number 5. -1 is less. So it is at -1. The y. It's still a broken line. So this is the unwanted we have there. Homework. I hope you have it by now. -5 plane, -5 solid line. Okay. It's important that you will see page 3. So now we're doing the opposite. You see, this one has no limit. It goes up and up. There's no restriction there. So we can just, okay, it's still the same. You can read it from both sides. Okay? Right, let's take the next one, number 24. Number 24. Look at X. Look at the X values. Look at the numbers. You can see is less than equal than, there's the wanted region. The Y values. This one is a broken and is less than X. So this one has only 1. Can you see? There's no restriction. -2. I think it's a solid line. 16. Question 16. Right, less than equal than X is less than equal than 4. So there is 0 at the axis, because otherwise you saw in. So I shade the unwanted. Now here on the axis, this is when, so I shade the, going to ask me, why are we doing it? Because how many cows and how many sheep are, 17. I want you to go again. We draw the axis. Put your 0 there. This one lies between 2. It is broken lines. And there it is the wanted one. Then right in the middle. Okay. Do you understand? It says 0 is less than equal than x is solid lines. And at 4. What is my unwanted? Then the next one is also adjacent. I shade those unwanted when we get to the graph paper. So I'm just teaching you step by step last year, and that is a straight line graph. To look at the graphs, and then we're going to draw them. How would you draw that graph? Set a table. So I'm doing at this stage on the board. So there's my axis, because this is y is equal to mx plus, and this is where I'm going to start. So I plot that point 2. That's where I start. Please look carefully on the board. And this one's gradient. Yes, the gradient is y. It goes like this. The slope is like this. What does a negative say? How can I give you a hint? The moment when you make that decision, draw this point, I need to draw my gradient now. What is the gradient? Delta y over delta x. So it means it is, write this down. Okay, now I'm going to change this. See, if we use less than or more than or less than equal and more than equal, then it becomes an inequality. Okay, but the point is now, on which side must I shade? And check out if it's true. You can test any point, but the easiest one is to check with the point 0, 0. So what I do now is I substitute 0, 0. 0 is less and equal than 0 plus 2. Is this a true statement? 0 is less than 2, it's true. So that means for this 0 is in the wanted region. So I'm going to show you. Okay? So we're going to start with question 7. So they've drawn it already for you. We're going to read it off. That one, they give you the equation 2y minus 3x is equal to 6. Now this one is not in standard mx plus c, but I can change it to that, or I can work with it like that. What we now have to use, now is this a solid line? So it means yes, we test the point 0, 0 in here to see what is true. So 0 minus 0 and 0 is? So 0 is less and equal to, because it's a solid line. For that one. Come, write it down. There's the answer. So I put the